I would say about a month ago, I read a post. Actually, I'm just gonna see if I can find it. It was about male birth control.
Ooh, yeah,
Just like rub on the skin, right?
The post reads as thus. So it says a woman can technically only produce one child per 9 months, whereas a man, in theory, can get a different woman pregnant every day for 9 months.
Facts.
Wouldn't it then make more sense for the importance and responsibility towards birth control be placed on men in terms of unwanted pregnancies, overpopulation, and the number of children born into poverty? And he goes on to say, you always hear that a woman should keep her legs closed, but if she can't raise a child, how come you never hear a man being told to keep their zippers zipped, seeing as how a man can produce way more children in a substantially shorter amount of time?
Just cut it off.
What?
Cut it off.
That is
Shut up, you don't mean that.
the light. What you mean cut off with the light?
So we're gonna go to option B. We just gonna skip that
What you talking about?
Just cut it
Wow.
off.
So right now, forms of birth control for men is it really just stops at the condom and then I guess like surgery, the vasectomy. That's the one for men, right?
Yeah, but there's no turning back.
Yeah,
You can
reverse
Oh, you
it.
can?
but it's not. It's complicated.
Why? But
Yeah, why do it in the first place?
yeah,
Whatever.
Oh my God.
So basically, what the post is saying that since men can get a bunch of women pregnant, you know, without slowing down, we should be the ones that are put on birth control instead of women, since women can only get pregnant once every 9 months. Is this valid?
Yes.
makes sense.
no.
Does it?
It makes
It
sense.
does
So this
make
is the
sense.
thing. Even with women, like, I understand, you know, if somebody, they're in a relationship and they're both like, hey, you know, let's have a kid. They're both very passionate about it. They're trying. I think that women have the pressure of being able to have kids. So that's number one. If you can't, any little thing can affect us. And I personally don't like birth control just because I'm paranoid and I'm like, it
Like
shouldn't.
the pill and stuff?
Yeah, I'm like, your body's supposed to do certain things. That's
Right.
how we were created. I don't want to stop it. And then when I want to have kids.
It'd be thrown
So
off.
it's just so much we have to worry about. Like, and it's just a little tiny pill. So I feel like if that was developed for a man, like, why not? Why is it the woman? And then when we get pregnant, we have to carry the child, clearly.
Yeah. I think that's the why,
That's
though.
that's
the
exactly
motivation.
why.
But that's the thing. Like, we have to go through all of this stuff. And I don't know too much of the science behind birth control, but if we can just keep our bodies as, you know, maybe pure is not
Like
the word, but
default.
yes, as possible.
Default.
Because like birth control for women, like there's so many things that can happen to your body.
Right.
And like men don't have periods.
Nope.
You don't
I know
have
it.
anything. So why can't you just take this little pill and stop giving us a headache?
I mean, you know the reason why. Because the consequences are much less for us.
Yes,
I think that's the bottom line.
How so?
y'all have to actually carry
Right.
the child. So yes, we can for the next 365 days get 365 women pregnant, but these 365 women have to actually carry the child.
Right.
So it's going to affect your body.
So the motivation for you to take that pill is way higher than it is for us.
Yeah.
We wake up like, fuck that pill. Then what? Nothing. Then you get pregnant, right? Right?
So then that's the question of you guys just being a little more responsible.
Agreed.
Because you know, why would you want to deal with baby mama drama, or you know, potentially having to pay child support? That's potentially because not everybody does it.
This is true.
And you know, men who are actually driven and want to go somewhere, in school, whatever, like it's going to, even if you're not carrying that child, it's going to
Affect you.
Yeah. I agree.
Especially if you actually want to be involved. You know.
Yeah. So if we're talking shoulds, like what should happen, then it should be like an even situation. Like we should both care.
You should both
evenly.
have, and I think you should both have the option. It shouldn't just be men only, and then get rid of women's birth control. But I do think that should be an option for both people, since both people are equally involved.
I like that.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well.
So like the way I try to put it together, I be complicating shit. I don't really understand why, but I do. So I was like, all right, let's say we have 50 keys and we have 50 locks, right? You get it. And let's say each lock can only be opened once every 9 months, right? To me, that would be an easier problem to address than it would be to address the activation of 50 keys, right? Because like for this to happen, right? Like there has to be key lock.
Yes.
Complicated. Right? And so one of these things happens more than the other, right? So you have a lot of activation going on with the keys and not as much activation going on with the locks, right?
Yeah.
And so it just, to me, it seems like the locks are a much easier problem to address. Like let's say your efficiency is 90%, right? To me, it will make sense to solve the total problem, but like this, the right side, the locks only happens every 9 months, so it will be easier to go towards that and lessen that than it will be to like try to fix a bunch of
key.
Right,
Yeah.
a bunch of keys, right? Essentially, you got a bunch of master keys running around, right? And it just makes sense,
It
right?
does. It makes
I don't know.
absolute sense.
Am I wrong?
I don't excuse the whole like. There are a lot of men who get multiple women pregnant at once. That's not uncommon.
Right.
However, I think
No, I see the show.
The correct choice.
No, I see the whole side of the show.
I just think a lot of it just happens very often, or you know, like 3 months apart from each other, or something like that. I'm not excusing the hoism of these men, but at the very least, if they're on some kind of birth control,
Yeah.
that won't happen.
Okay, it would help.
It
right?
would help,
For sure.
yeah. Granted, responsibility and sense, but we can't even get into that.
So let me to that point. Let me pose this question. So basically, you're saying a man that decides, so he has 5 women, he wants to get 5 women pregnant, right? So you're defining this as hoism. Just so I'm following you at.
Yes.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah. So my question is, why is that hoism? Is there another solution, or is there another way that we could pose that? What if he's just a man that wants to have multiple children?
With
I think
multiple
there's
women.
nothing wrong with that if all women know that they're
Consent.
one
There
of
it is.
5.
Right.
There it is.
Yeah.
But we know in this situation, none of those women
They
know about
probably
each other.
don't.
Nobody don't know.
Yeah.
Unless you have a polygamous like type of relationship.
Right.
If you're somewhere in Africa where there's no Wi-Fi, like, that's different.
There's no Wi-Fi.
So,
Somewhere, right?
if there is, they
A
go
hotspot or
build
something.
everywhere else, and they
Oh,
gonna start
shit.
saving up for themselves. But right, if there's consent to all that,
Then it's all
they
good.
all get, and you know,
Okay.
their money, and you know, whatever the case may be, they're like, whatever, I don't care.
Then it's all
I
good.
just want my baby out of this, or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's very rare.
It is.
Okay.
With birth control, the only reason why I think it's okay to be with just the women at this point is the science behind it.
Okay.
Because I realized that so the egg comes down and the birth control stops it from being fertilized essentially, and then it goes to then our monthly. So for you all, I don't know what's going to happen. Are they just going to die and
Right.
stay there, and then they're just going to come out there? I
Right.
don't know.
So what they're trying to do, they're trying to create infertile sperm. And so they're a bunch of like test forms of like what you know directions they're trying to take with it, but like you're not gonna stop it from coming out. Like that's out of the question, right? But you I think it would be more invasive to try to stop sperm from being produced. So I think the approach is to stop the sperm from being, I don't know if you call sperm fertile, just having the ability to like fertilize an egg, right? And I don't know how difficult that will be, but it sounds pretty freaking hard considering like the amount of sperm cells that we produce. It's freaking ridiculous. We're talking like millions, like as we speak, right? Right, like you know what I'm saying? Like population of the world right now, and nigga balls. But like I feel like that would be way more difficult to do than to make a single egg infertile.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I think when a woman is infertile, I think it's her egg will still come. I think just when it reaches whatever part of the body that is, I should know based on anatomy.
Like the fallopian tube.
Yeah, when it comes down, it just
Yeah.
doesn't become fertilized by
Yeah.
the sperm. It just won't allow it to happen.
Right, something like
She can
that.
take that egg out of the woman, like Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. But for a guy, what if all your sperm becomes infertile because of this? Now you will not be able to produce anything,
That's a
even
problem.
if it's put in somebody else. So that's a concern.
Yeah.
That's a major.
Okay, but y'all do believe that men should have some form of birth control other than like.
I
Yeah.
think morals. I mean,
Yeah.
let's start.
Oh shit!
That's
Woo! Hello. Go ahead. Go talk
I'm
to
pretty sure
him.
my parents will never listen to this.
That's all right.
I'll send it to them. But
Okay.
I remember when I lived in North Carolina, my parents were really strict. So I couldn't put fingernail polish on. It had to be clear. I couldn't hang out with other people as far as like going to their house and spend the night.
Okay.
But one time I did spend the night at somebody's house. They took me to the doctor the next day. So like they are extremely strict.
Oh, your parents took you to the doctor next day
Yeah,
just to get you
and
checked
I mean,
out.
they did it out of love. I know that my
Yeah, they
parents
care
aren't
about you.
crazy, but I think it was a little nuts. You know, it
Wow.
could have been a face-to-face conversation if you
They took you to the
you know,
doctor
if
the
you knew
next
your
day.
daughter. But I remember my stepdad. We were at a restaurant, and he looked at me and he said, "The reason why we're so strict on you is because your brother can get somebody pregnant and he doesn't have to be there. He can pay her, he can do all these things, but you're stuck with the child."
Hello.
And I'm like, "But if you raise your son better." You know, because just like I'm your daughter, so is the girl that my brother would get pregnant.
Yeah.
That's somebody's daughter too.
Uh-huh.
It's all a chain effect, and you're doing nothing but enabling it by preaching this type of advice. Oh, son, just wear a condom.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
the dad or the mom of the guy who wants to be with me is telling him the same thing.
Yeah.
So, like, where does it stop, and where do we empathize with different families and different situations?
Mm-hmm.